Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the big show here. It's your buddy Bruce from Traveling with Bruce. TWB is alive and well on the air. It's nice to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining me from wherever you are on the planet. If you're watching tonight, say hi to me. Tell me where you're watching me from. What's your high temperature today? What's the price of gas where you live? Is it going up? Is it going down? How you doing? Are you planning a trip? Where are you going? What cruise line are you guys going on? If you're going on a cruise, if you're just planning a trip, a little holiday, where are you headed? And is it the first time or what have you? Thank you all for popping in and saying hi to me from wherever you are. It is Monday, March the 11th, 2024. And got a little bit of news for you. Not a lot of news today. I have a little more of a rant that I've got going. He's got a rant. Oh, no. I'll get to that later. But anyway, welcome everyone. Here in Palm Desert, California, where Jennifer and I are right now, we are being visited by Jen Jr. And we have another friend who's come down, and we're enjoying enjoying the company. And the weather is great. 75, 76 for the high. We're going to 80 in a couple of days. Very nice weather. Typical for this time of year. Should be this kind of weather. So we're very pleased. Very happy with it. And things are going very, very nicely here in the valley, here in this region of California. Business is good. Traffic is heavier than I'd like it to be, which shows me there are people in this town. And it's busting right now. The big tennis tournament is on here, the Indian Wells. The Indian Wells tennis tournament is one of the majors for the men and the women, and it's about a 3-week-long thing, I think. And there's a lot of people here to watch tennis, a ton. So we got that going on. Of course, golf weather is perfect. Tennis weather, pickleball being played everywhere. Folks are walking and biking and everything around here. So, yeah, it's go get 'em time right now here in this part of the world. Jen and I, Jen is doing great. For those of you curious about how her hip is doing, she had her second hip replaced. This one was her right hip replaced on January the 16th, and in 5 days, 2 months. So yeah, and she's recovering dramatically fast, really fast. She's now walking everywhere she goes without a cane, without a walker, totally unassisted. On Saturday, Jen Jr. and Jennifer and I went to our local shopping mall, and the two gals left me to go wherever I wanted to go in the mall, and they went wherever they wanted to go, and they were gone for an hour. Jen was on her feet for an hour with her daughter, and really enjoying it. And she was tired when we came back, but she was fine. As a matter of fact, we came back and we changed into bathing suits, and we went to the swimming pool and the hot tub, the spa, and got into that nice warm water with the bubbles going. Oh yeah, Jen was really enjoying that. And then yesterday we went into Los Angeles because we had a guest of ours was arriving, and we drove to LA to pick up the guest. And Jen walked out of the car through the parkade, through the part of the airport, into the baggage claim area, and back to the car. And then we went out for a little bite to eat at a restaurant somewhere, and then we went to a bookstore. Went to downtown LA, went to a particular bookstore, and Jen walked quite a bit. And this was 2 days in a row. Now, when we got home, she was tired, really tired. And today is a day off. She is not doing anything today. And today she put the ice machine on because she wanted to ice down her hip and ice down her knee. But this is where we're at now. We're now building back her endurance, and we're building it up. And that's what we have to do now to even think of traveling. We got to build her endurance level. And so that's a labor of love, because it means she's out and about. And we now know we can go to Costco for an hour, and we we can go shopping for whatever we need to do. She doesn't just sit in the car anymore, and I go in by myself. So that's a nice change. So thank you, all of you who've been sending kind wishes to her, letting her know you think of her. Her recovery is well underway, and she only has about 3 more physical therapy sessions left, and she's all done. It's all done, finished. Another successful replacement of a hip. Fantastic stuff. So hopefully we will plot a trip or two starting this summer. We're also plotting a meet and greet, a get together here in Southern California. We are plotting one for sometime in the latter bit of April, I think. We haven't nailed it down yet. I'm hoping by next week I'll know. And as soon as we nail it, we'll fill you in on what we have in mind. And if any of you are in the area of greater Los Angeles, Southern California, you might want to come by and say hi. We'll let you know when we know, so just stand by. We should know by next week. I hope so. Fantastic. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for these thumbs ups you're handing out to us again today. So appreciate those of you who can hit the old thumbs up button. We always strive to get to 100 of them. We didn't quite make it last week. We ended up at about I think we ended up at about 90 of the thumbs ups. Well, we couldn't quite make it to 100. But then again, any of you out there who are able to hit the thumbs up button for last week, you can always do that if you wish. But we thank you for the thumbs up buttons today. We've got I think 16 or something like that in there. So thank you for 16 so far. And those of you watching on the rerun, thank you also for hitting the thumbs ups button for us. Fantastic, I say. Okay, let's say hi to a few folks. Sharon is in the house, number 2 in the queue. Welcome. Robert Melot is here. Hello there to Sharon, and I'll be back soon. He said, Lurker, I hear the guy that runs the stock markets in plain English is over here. I just want to confirm. Has anyone seen this homeless Canadian that drives a Tesla? Well, that's me. Stephen Butler, number 7, high of 66 today. Really nice. Gas, $3.19 a gallon. It's lighter and brighter later in Arkansas now, excuse me. Daylight savings time. Robert, I wonder what shirt he's going to wear tonight. Ken, hello all in Saginaw. It's 51 degrees and clear. Gasoline's $3.66 a gallon. Good evening, Jen and Ken. Number 5, welcome. Robert is saying, well, I start and end my Monday with Uncle Bruce. So there you go. Thank you. Me too, says Not a Lurker. Princeton, New Jersey, 53 windy, gas 303. Right on, buddy. Sharon, Not a Lurker anymore. Are you in Princeton proper, or the general area? General area, about 15 minutes south. No one really knows where Hamilton, New Jersey is. You know, I know where Hamilton, New Jersey is. Sharon, we're a bit east of you. How about that? Donnell is in the house. Good day, Bruce and all here. I think I may have missed the Hangout show. Did you go back an hour? It's just gone midnight here in Cork, Ireland. I'm number 9. Yes, we jumped ahead an hour, so we leapfrogged you. Not a Lurker. Sharon, no, PA. Pennsylvania is the west. Splair, good evening, y'all. I'm lurking while playing. Welcome, Splair, from Dortmund, Germany. Donnell from Cork, Ireland. Of course, I meant forward an hour. Happy Tuesday to all of you from across the pond in Cork. Thank you for joining us, Donnell. Not a Lurker. Oh, sorry, you're right. That's right, Sharon. No problem. Kevin Chapman, the author, is in the house. Hey there, Bruce. Spring has arrived in central New Jersey. It's windy today, but more 50s than 30s in our future. This is good. Best to Jen on her recovery. Thumbs up 17. Thank you, sir. Nice to have you here. Donnell, delighted to hear Auntie Jen is getting better all the time. Wonderful news. No doubt the fab weather is helping a lot, and it is definitely is. We're going out on the patio more often now to sit down and watch the golfers chop away at their golf balls. Having trouble getting the right line and stuff. Very interesting to see people trying to play golf. What can I say? No, we're good. We're very good, and we're very close now to beginning some serious plotting for our next travels. So we are definitely we're definitely going to look into that very closely. And the first question on my calendar, my agenda for travel is: are we doing Europe this year? If so, when and how? And we'll see if we can nail something down in the next month or so or two and figure it out. We'll let you know. Cruising. Will we do a cruise around Scotland? Will we do a cruise in the Mediterranean? Would there be a cruise for Australia this coming winter? Will we be down there for December, January, February, March? I don't know. And will there be a cruise Australia to New Zealand or something? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. We'll find out. Splair, I'm believing my application. It's 42 Fahrenheit here. It feels like 37 in my opinion, like 30, but always freezing faster than others. He says, not a lurker, first time here. Splair, BTW in Germany, by the way. Yes, out of Dortmund, Deutschland. Welcome, all of you, to the show tonight from wherever you are, and whether you're a regular from this channel or from my other channel. Great to have you here, Batman. Yo, I'm here, buddy. I'm here. Hello. Welcome all. Nice to have you. Well, today's news on the cruise ship front. I got a bit of a rant going here. I usually do a rant on my other channel, my stock market channel, and usually it goes over fairly well. But I'm not sure about today. But I'll tell you what has got me going. I saw an article, or I saw a story today. I was just, searching for cruise news to talk to you about. And I saw this development that happened, and I was surprised and I was disappointed. And I thought I'd mention, who am I disappointed at? MSC. A little disappointed in MSC. Apparently, there's a channel out there. If you're a regular follower of YouTube and you follow YouTubers that talk about cruise ships all the time, well, then you all know who these guys are. Let me show you a photo. Don't mind me. Here it is. Here's a photo of Ben and David. This is a little while ago. They took this photo of themselves holding a 100,000 plaque, YouTube achievement plaque there. Congratulations to those two guys. These guys have been on YouTube for years. I mean, 7 years. I started in 2017. I think they started 17 as well. I think we're very close in age on the YouTube channel, and they love going on cruises. And what they do is they they'll book a cruise on their own dime, go on a ship and take a cruise, a 1 week cruise, a 10-day cruise, 15-day, whatever it is, and they'll very discreetly film their experience. They're not flashy as far as getting in front of a bunch of people and pay attention to me. They're very discreet YouTubers. They like to film their cabins. They like to film their restaurants. They like to film their the common areas that you can go on a cruise ship. They like to film the swimming area, whatever part of the ship. And then they do a lot of voiceover work, or they do a combination of voiceover work, and then they'll do on-camera talking, where they might sit on a couch and look at a camera and talk for 10 minutes. And while we hear them talk, we see them, and then we just hear them because we see imagery, a video that they're shooting on a ship. And they've been on all the brands. They've done them all. They've been on all the big cruise lines, including MSC. And apparently they did a video about 3 years ago on one of the MSC ships. It was, I'm going to say this may have happened maybe just after COVID. I'm not exactly sure, but apparently it did not go well. They do not hold back. If they're not happy about a cruise, they tell you about it. And they'll give you reasoning why. They'll tell you straight out. If something isn't done, the right way, or way other lines do it, they're going to come out and tell you, because that's why they're doing what they're doing. They say it best when they're on a ship. They say to us, "We're not here for a holiday. We're on a nice cruise ship and we're in a nice itinerary, but we're not on a holiday. We're working. We're YouTubers, and our job is to bring you our impression of this cruise ship and this cruise line. And you take the information and process it in your mind, and you decide for yourself whether the cruise is for you or not." And More power to them. Well, anyway, they were on this ship right here just a little while ago, the MSC World Europa. They were on this ship, and at the very front of the ship, at the very top there, there's a couple of levels of cabins at the very front there, known as the Yacht Club. And they booked a 1 week cruise. I believe it was a 1 week cruise for something like $5,300 American for the two of them to be on the Yacht Club. Here's a better shot of the front of the ship there. Very stylistic cruise ship, very very unique looking. You can see at the just above the nose, above the hull there. There's a couple of levels of cabins there. One of them even has a hot tub, if not a couple of them have a hot tub. And then at the very very top of the ship, you can see a hot tub, a swimming pool, chase lounges in various areas up there under some protective deflective glass, I suppose. There's a special restaurant and an observation lounge and bar area just below the very top of the ship, under the glass, that angled glass. So that front half of the ship, or front third of the ship at the very top, it's exclusive to Yacht Club guests. Okay, quite nice. The inside of the ship, very very nice. The two of them were telling they were talking about how nice the ship was. They really enjoyed it. They thought it was a real masterpiece of a cruise ship. Beautiful, with chandelier hanging in the lobby and the atrium. Very, very nice. I think this is one of the observation levels, and this one is another one that they're allowed to go to. Maybe even this one. I'm not 100% sure. And then here again is another angle for you of the Yacht Club. I'm going to say this is obviously a computer rendition, of what it will look like, but this is pretty accurate. You can see the pool and the hot tub up there, the spa, and then loungers, and there are little cabanas here and there, and there's all kinds of padded loungers, and apparently they really enjoyed being on this ship. They were on it for 4 days out of 7. And then there was an incident, and this has got me all riled up. I got to tell you, I'm a little upset. Here's another shot of one of the other ships that called MSC World America. Apparently, the two of them had been on the ship for 3 days without any problems whatsoever. They had checked in, filmed in their check-in process, which was a breeze. They talked about coming into the Yacht Club area of the check-in area, and within 20 minutes they were on the ship. Their bag was given priority to go through the machine, and then their bag showed up in their room later on. They were given first-class service. They got onto the ship, and they had an armband put on, and that allowed them to go anywhere they wanted, because you just have to put this medallion on a sensor. Doors open up, and if you're a yacht member, you can go anywhere you want. And so they were really enjoying themselves. The first day they went up to the lounge area that I was showing you, and they were brought champagne. The staff was introducing themselves to them and telling them all about the features of their Yacht Club experience. And so, they were loving it. And they loved their room. They liked the pool area and the jacuzzi area. They liked the lounge areas. They were happy with the restaurant they had and the food they got. They were happy with service. Very happy. And they were telling viewers, it's amazing to us. We're telling you how much we like the ship and how much we like the staff on the ship until the incident occurred. And it was on day 4. Apparently, sometime on day 3, they were filming themselves in the buffet or something. I don't know. And the camera they use is a handheld kind of camera. It's not a phone, but you can imagine that this is about 2 inches deep. and they're just holding this camera like this, and they don't have a boom. They don't have like a fuzzy microphone sticking out of the camera. It's not an intrusive, obscene looking contraption. It's a very small camera. They were saying that there are, hundreds of other passengers filming like crazy everything because the ship is so beautiful. People taking pictures and videos, and husbands filming their wives and wives filming their husbands, and so they said we thought nothing of it. And on day 3 they were approached by one of the managers, and they were just curious, what kind of camera have you got there? And they said, oh, this is our little handheld blah 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 camera, and it shoots really good video. Oh, that's great, that's great. And then on day 4 in the morning they were doing some more work, and another person in a suit and tie came by and was talking to them, and just very friendly and just chatting along, and they found out that, yeah, we're YouTubers. We do this all the time. We've been on all the ships. We just did the Icon of the Seas for Royal Caribbean, and we've done this and done this. And to give you an idea how popular these guys are, they have 242,000 subscribers. It's a good sized channel. 242,000 subscribers. They've had 53.7 million views of their work. They do about a couple of million views a month. They're popular, followed by the UK crowd, the US crowd, elsewhere. On day 4, after about the third person came along, and finally a some kind of person in a suit, again, another one, showed up and said, you can't film anymore. You're not allowed to film anything. And they said, what about our iPhone? What about with our phones? Like just our iPhones? No, can't use your iPhones. You can't take a picture of each other on the ship. You can't film, period. You're not gonna be allowed to film on the ship anymore. And the two of them were stunned. I mean, they were just absolutely this never happened before. It's never happened on any ship ever of the 7 years. And they were not given a reason, but then again, they knew that the cruise line doesn't have to give them a reason. A cruise line can just ban you. But the cruise line said, you're welcome to enjoy the amenities of the ship, but you can't film anything. So they decided, we got to get out of here. We're going to go back to our cabins and reassess what's happening here. And so they went down to their cabins. They were followed there by security. And they were made to feel very, very uncomfortable. And they got into their cabin, closed the door, and gathered themselves. They set up their camera on a tripod, sat down on their couch, and talked to their viewers. Again, this is a recorded show. You'll be able to watch this on YouTube anytime you want. And they basically told the story of what was happening. Now, this video is 57 minutes long, and the first 25 minutes is having a wonderful time, just telling all of us how this is fabulous. This cruise is going great. The ship is great. The staff is great. The food is great. The service is great. It looked like they were going to give this cruise ship a big thumbs up, where the last cruise they were on 3 years ago was a total unmitigated disaster. From every angle, it was a disaster. Well, this time it was going to be great. And then they said something really interesting that caught my ear, and I thought, wow, this is unbelievable. They had received an email a short time before this cruise was to start, a few weeks ago, I'm going to guess, from the PR department of MSC, inviting them onto a cruise. Now, it wasn't on this particular ship, but they were invited on an MSC cruise at no expense. It was a freebie. It was MSC putting them up as for free. All you can eat, all you can drink, balcony, everything. Enjoy. And they wrote back and said, we really appreciate this kind gesture. Really, this is something else. And they knew a lot of YouTubers would jump on this deal. I'll tell you, I would have jumped on it when I first started this channel. In the first 2 years that Jen and I were here, if I got an offer like that from anybody, I'd have taken that deal. Yeah, for sure. But no one, interestingly, no one ever offered me a free cruise. In any event, they wrote back and said, thank you so much. What a generous offer. However, It's our policy not to accept gifts from cruise lines. We do our videos at our expense. We do our videos in a very discreet manner. We do not seek attention. We do not film passengers intentionally. We don't do that. We don't spy on people. We're very discreet. And we prefer to film early in the morning and when it's calm and when the ship's in port, they'll stay on the ship and film all kinds of parts of the ship with nobody there. And then they go home and they edit the video, do their voiceovers, post their videos. And so thank you very much. Now here, all of a sudden, they're on board an MSC ship at their expense, and no complaints had been registered. No one had said a word to them about filming, that there was an issue against policy. No bartender had a problem. No waiter had a problem. No issues. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, they were told, you can't film on board the ship, period. And if you do, we'll confiscate your camera. So they went into their cabin, told us the story, and they were in Rome at the time. They had just pulled into Rome that morning, and they were going to plan on being on the ship all day to film a whole bunch of the ship. Now they were told they can't film. So they basically got on the computer, and they booked flights back to England that day, later that day. And they said, we're on a plane in 6 hours. We're leaving the ship immediately. We are packing up as soon as we finish talking to you on this camera, doing this because we wanted to do this video to you while all this is fresh. And so we're going to do this on film, pack up the camera, pack everything up, leave the ship, get on a plane, get back home into the UK, and then in the next 2 days, 3 days, we'll post this video. And so they packed up, called the concierge, and told them that they're checking out. They're leaving the ship. And the ship was surprised. The concierge, they were like, why? And they said, you told us we can't film. We're YouTubers. We can't film. There's no need for us to be here. This is not a holiday. We're working. And so it took an hour and a half to get out of there because they wanted the final bill so they could leave. Well, all of a sudden, this created obviously a commotion in the accounting department or whatever. But they got off the ship. They did leave the ship, and they found it was the most humiliating and frustrating experience they'd ever been through, even leaving the ship. They weren't being berated and they weren't being yelled at or anything like that, but they felt very like they were the enemy. They really felt that they were the enemy. And they made a point of telling the viewers on their camera interview at the end of this, just before they walked off. They said, we love this ship. We were about to give this, we're still giving this cruise ship a very high grade. If you can book a cruise on this ship for $5,300 for 2 people for a 7-day yacht experience, you want to do it. They said, it's absolutely worth your money. I don't know if you'll have any problems filming yourselves or family or anything. That I can't say, but maybe our problem is our history as YouTubers, where we tell it like it is. And we had to give this cruise line a bad rating 3 years ago because they offered a terrible cruise 3 years ago. Just terrible. But maybe they have long memories and they don't ever want to risk that again. No idea. So that was an interesting video. Anyway, that video is out now. Tony has made a video about this video. Tony put up a video. He was upset, thinking, I've never had this problem. Jen and I have been on cruises for years and years and never had an issue filming. I don't think Dawn Terrace has ever had an issue filming. I don't think Emma Latisse has ever had an issue filming. All the other YouTubers that you follow, I mean, there are thousands of videos out there about MSC cruises, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Holland America, you name it, Norwegian, any brand. There is a cruise about anything. And I don't recall ever a cruise line forbidding a YouTuber to video or take photos. I can't imagine. So what these two were saying to us was, we don't have a problem with the cruise line as far as the staff on the cruise ship. We don't have a problem with the ship. We don't have a problem with the people who served us. top marks. But we have a problem with management. That is the problem we're having with MSC. Management of MSC have it in for us, and I don't know if any other YouTubers are going to run into this. So I find it disappointing because as a YouTuber, not that I've been on any cruise ships lately, but as a YouTuber, I look at this and go, these two guys are spending their own money to do the trip, not looking for a handout, and they're delivering their own honest assessment, which gives all the viewers I think the ability to trust these two guys. After you watch them for a while, you realize these guys aren't shills. They're not paid promoters. There are people who are paid promoters, but not these two guys. And they went out there and they go out there and they give you the straight goods about what this cruise line is all about. I think that's a disservice having it taken away. I think that's sad because I think millions of viewers out there have the right, I think, and should be given the facts of what it's like being on a cruise ship like this with a cruise line like that. As I say, I'm very disappointed in MSC. Maybe only half surprised. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the way I'm going about it, but I found that to be very, very interesting. Robert, I only follow you and Doug Parker for cruise news and or cruise stocks. Slayer, thanks to Donnell. Luckily, I've started into a free Tuesday here. Alan Carter, I'm the 23rd. Thumbs up. Kirk, hi, Bruce and TLB family. I am in the Big Apple. I'm finally here. Slayer, the chandelier is hanging there safely. I definitely would be scared while standing below it. Donnell, hi there, Slayer. Enjoying your free Tuesday and, of course, the show. Sandy Robinson, hey, everybody. It's very beautiful here in Medicine Hat, Alberta. I'm recovering well from my right shoulder replacement surgery. It's been about 3 weeks since it was done. Watching you from my hospital room. Sandy, they're rebuilding you piece by piece. That is for sure. I'm glad it's going well. Sprayer, same here, but after that coincidence, I would say no either. Sprayer, for you as well. Enjoyable start to good Tuesday, Donnell. Paul, sometimes cruise lines are willing to gamble while trying to cover up their retaliation for negative reviews, and in this case, it's probably going to backfire. Oh, I think so. I have a suspicion that other YouTubers are going to react, and more power to them, because I think that YouTubers have to attack this kind of nonsense. This is absolutely bunk. How many thousands of passengers, millions of passengers are filming themselves with iPhones, filming themselves walking around a cruise ship, filming each other in the casino. I mean, there's no place you can't pull the camera out. Maybe in the showroom you can't take flash photography. I get that. You respect that. But, cruise ships are crawling with passengers who are filming, and who knows how many are doing YouTube videos or sending videos to their friends through sharing and all that. I don't know, Stephen Butler. The thing the cruise line may not have considered is the experience was spread not only with their followers, but at least a half dozen other YouTubers reported on it as well. And now you got possibly tens of millions of cruisers in the next 6 months that are going to know about this. This is going to spread like wildfire. And among YouTubers, this is an issue. We don't take kindly to having this kind of restriction, especially when we pay to get on there. No. If passengers are allowed to do footage like this, I can't see why a YouTuber with an iPhone or a small camera can't do it either. I just don't have a defense for the cruise line at all. If you've got a bad review, well, then maybe you should improve your product, because every other passenger is telling all their friends and family what a ridiculous experience they may have had. If it was a bad cruise for a YouTuber, it was probably a bad cruise for 3,000 other passengers. This can't be good. This can't possibly be good. You got to think that a passenger with a bad experience is going to tell 10 other family members about it over the next 3 months, because they're all going to ask, how was your cruise? How was your cruise? Or they'll get a call from someone saying, hey, I heard from, Uncle Fester over here, you had a bad cruise. What happened? Here we go. I mean, this thing is spreading like wildfire. You do this to a YouTuber, other YouTubers are going to jump on this and go, what the hell's going on here? This is ridiculous. You guys are picking on the wrong two people for the wrong reasons. But yeah, I was disappointed. They came back home, and after they got back, a day or two, they then finished their video with their thoughts on everything, and then they posted it. And yeah, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they told us straight out what happened to them rather than keep quiet about it. I'm very happy to hear that. But I tell you, I have heard so many positive and so many bad reviews of MSC since 2017 when I started this channel. I have had no other cruise line with black or white responses about the cruise line. Like, I have had people who adore them, and I've had people who hate them. It's gone both ways. I've not been on an MSC ship, and I'm asking myself after this, not on the top of my list right now, but what can I say? I will say that about 4 years ago, before COVID, a very good friend of mine and his wife, this couple introduced Jen and I to modern day cruising. They took a repositioning cruise from Marseille, France, into to the USA, and I think they got off the ship in Miami. I know it stopped in New York, but it stopped ultimately in Miami, and they were not impressed. They were not happy. They had so many little things that they weren't happy about. That was the interesting thing about it. There wasn't any one thing. There were like 50 little things, like a mosquito that just won't leave you alone. They kept doing that. It was interesting listening to their commentary. And these two have been on dozens of cruises, dozens, like 30 or 40 cruises in their lifetimes. So they're very experienced. But they told me in private back then, because they don't have a YouTube channel, they told me the entire itinerary about this MSC repositioning cruise. But at the time, I thought to myself, okay, look, a repositioning cruise is different than a regular scheduled cruise, because a repositioning cruise may or may not have a full slate of entertainers on board. You may or may not have as many special theme nights that you would normally have on a regular scheduled cruise. A repositioning cruise takes you from a time zone maybe in Europe and drops you off in a time zone in North America, very many time zones away. Or you go from the Mediterranean all the way down to South America. You're not only crossing the equator, but 9 time zones on top of that. So these are not the same. A 1 week Miami cruise is a 1 week Miami cruise. You can book round trip tickets on your airline to come in and leave, right? But if you're leaving from Barcelona and you end up in New York, or you end up leaving from New York and you end up in Rome, Italy, you're dealing with one-way tickets. That's a different experience. Now, the cruises themselves, on a dollar point of view, a repositioning cruise is usually a much cheaper deal than a regular cruise. Makes sense, because you have to factor in the cost of 2 one-way tickets to get home, get to the ship, get home from the ship. And if you don't have all the goodies on board a repositioning cruise, especially entertainment, well then it's worth less money. So obviously the cruise line will offer a deal. And I remember doing videos on this channel over the years where I would show you repositioning cruises that were $35 a night for an inside room, $60 a night for a balcony on a 15-day or whatever repositioning cruise or longer. Cheap, really cheap. Yeah, well, makes sense. If you don't have a lot of stops, it's all sea days with a couple of stops only. Yeah, that's what you're going to pay for, right? Makes sense. So anyway, I've covered all, but this particular couple, having done this repositioning cruise, they had all kinds of other issues that they didn't like. They were talking about stuff as small as insignificant as the water at the restaurant. They would get to the restaurant, and they would be sat down at a table, and the waiter would come by, and I'm not sure how it worked. If they had to hand in their room key, they gave the room key to the maitre d' at the front of the restaurant, and he ran it through the system, gave them back their key, and then the system would tell the maitre d' the class of passenger you're looking at. And in my friend's case, they were staying in an inside room on a repositioning cruise, so they were at the low end of the trip, and so they had very little in the way of perks. And the one perk they got was they would be given bottled water at dinner, lunch or dinner. They would get bottled water, but they didn't get any beer or wine or anything like that. It had to be paid extra if you wanted. And on the menu, there were no add-ons. You just got the basics. And so they were very, they were disappointed in what you got for food. It was the low end. Not that they were expecting wine and beer. They really weren't expecting that. But even to get the bottle of water, they would have to ask for it. Like, can we have our waters, please? Because they knew they were entitled to it. And sometimes the waiters would put up squawk. Not that they were arguing, but they were saying, are you sure you get water with your room? Not what you want to hear from a waiter on a cruise ship. That's the last thing you want to hear, is to have to argue with them or have to convince them to bring you a bottle of water and not charge you $5 for it because you're an inside passenger. I mean, this kind of stuff. They had a number of other issues that they weren't happy about, but that's, again, that's a different kettle of fish than what we were dealing with here. Anyway, interesting, let's see here. Sharon, we were on an MSC Meraviglia Yacht Club last summer, and it was a fabulous experience. But a friend of ours was on the same ship, not the yacht club, and she said she would never sail MSC again. I get this all the time. Sharon, the yacht club has butlers and is heavily staffed, but down below it's harder to get good service. Plus, their room, which is technically a junior suite, was very small. And by the way, I thought this was odd. Everything was included in the yacht club, except it was the only regular Wi-Fi. Instead of streaming Wi-Fi, we had to pay another $60 or so in order to stream on the ship. Also, we had to pay for many of the shows on the Meraviglia. Even as yacht club guests, we had to pay, and the entertainment really paled in comparison to Royal Caribbean. And I've heard that too, about the quality of entertainment on MSC ships. The quality of entertainment can't hold a candle to these other lines. My friend's room was very small, junior suite. Our room was fine, by the way. So very interesting comment. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I've had terrible reviews, and I've had other people say they love it. They just love MSC. Interesting stuff. Private company, Geneva-based in Switzerland. They own the third largest container shipping company in the world. Deep pockets for MSC. Apparently MSC has deep pockets, but there have been issues. Yes, quite surprising. Anyway, with Ben and David, this is Cruising with Ben and David. This is really surprising to me. Very surprising. And that they asked them the name of their channel, and then after checking out their channel, they would then tell them to stop filming. I mean, these guys they're not thinking it through very well. But I will tell you that if you watch the video that they made, you'll find the two of them very calm about everything. And they're saying, we're not here to slam these people and tell you don't ever cruise on them or anything like that. We're not like that. We're telling you we liked the ship a lot. We liked a lot about the club experience very much. We found it very, very worth the money. I mean, better value than Royal Caribbean, better value than Norwegian in their upgraded high-end suites. This is very nice. But we were shocked that we were told to stop filming in a very abrupt way, almost threatened with being kicked off the ship if you keep filming. I mean, it was very abrupt, and there was nothing gentle about it apparently. And that, I think, also, anyway, is it possible they were hassled because they were gay? They mentioned nothing about it. nothing about that whatsoever. So I really don't know. I'm hoping that I'm going to guess it's unlikely. But then again, how do we know? I don't know the individuals that banned them. Why they did, by the way, in the video, if you watch it, they did say that they reached out to the PR department that offered them a free cruise. They wrote back to that individual saying, by the way, we just got off the MSC Europa ship. We had booked a 1 week, suite, paid this much money. We were on the ship for 3 days. On day 4, we left because of this. Just so you know, this is what happened to us, and we appreciate your invite, but we just want you to know that this is what MSC did to us. I don't know if you're aware of this. Are you aware that staff on board this ship is doing this with anyone else? We don't know. They got a standard corporate response that didn't even address the issue. And so it's clear the individual they wrote to has no ability to respond to them in an honest way. They have to give them the gobbledygook cut and paste message that has already been prepared for this sort of stuff, or whatever the issue is. I don't know. Sharon, that's a question I can't answer. There you go. I think that kind of covers it all. Like I say, MSC, their product is great. Their ships are wonderful. They're they're very newish, very stylish. They're very, they score very high grades everywhere about how well the ships come off looking and how well they're made and all of that stuff. So there's been nothing but kudos about the quality. Oh my gosh, of these cruise lines, of this cruise line. So there you go. $1 billion plus, I'm sure, on this ship, easily more than $1 billion. And there you go. But for these two guys, what can I tell you? It wasn't very pleasant, and it wasn't very nice. Now, one more story for you. Apparently, it's about this ship right here. It's the Sun Princess, brand new ship. And are they having problems? They're having all kinds of what they're calling technical problems. Apparently, technical problems are being had. This apparently is a beautiful ship. It's going to be one of the favorites, I'm sure, on their entire cruise line. Big ship, of course. But here's something. The Sun Princess inaugural sailing's delayed. Ship still being finished. Sun Princess has only been in service for 2 weeks. With her maiden voyage embarking from Rome on February 28, however, her career at sea has been anything but smooth so far. And the megaship's maiden voyage had to be canceled not once but twice due to delays in the ship's completion. In late January, cruises were informed that Sun Princess's original maiden voyage, scheduled to depart Barcelona on February 8, was canceled due to unspecified delays. The inaugural sailing was rescheduled to February 18, but this voyage was also canceled 4 days before it was supposed to embark. The cruise line cited technical work as the reason behind the delays, but did not detail what still had to be done. Apparently, on the cruise they did do, I think it was the second cruise that they were able to do, they were supposed to go to Santorini in Greece. And they were supposed to disembark passengers on tenders, and they couldn't do it. They said they had technical issues with the tender process. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. You guys have got 4,000 passengers on this sucker. This is a big ship. It's probably got 1,800 crew. There's 5,800 people on this thing. Are your lifeboats working? Or are they not working? If you can't even do tenders, what you generally do as a cruise line is you disembark passengers on your lifeboats to the shore excursions. And then you occasionally will have ships from the shore come over, tenders, that will pick up 200 or 300 at a time and take them to the shore and eventually bring them back. But usually the cruise line has their lifeboats going back and forth, acting as tenders. What's wrong with your What's wrong with your lifeboats? I mean, are they functioning? 1,500 people on this thing. I have no idea. I don't know. It might be 6,000. 4,300 passengers and 1,800 crew. That's 6,100 people. You got to wonder if these guys ran into an emergency, would they be able to handle it? I have no idea. This is a view of the ship. You can see that the ships themselves, these so-called, pardon me, these. See if I can get this to work here. The ships here in the lifeboats. Pardon me, the lifeboats are on what, the third deck, fourth deck, whatever it is. They don't have to come from the top of the ship all the way down. They come from this area. Are they functioning properly? I would like to know. I don't know. Weird stuff. They're offering $50 credits for missing Santorini. You know what? You know what? If you're missing Santorini on a Greek cruise, you are missing one of the premier stops. I mean, this is a World Heritage Site stop that you're missing out on. Now, for those people who've been there and you've been in long lines and all that, you probably have had so memories. But Santorini is a photographer's dream. And imagine how many people were disappointed to miss that stop. Gotta make you wonder what's going on over there. Sun Princess, that ship clearly was not done on time. It was not built and completed. They sailed it early, and they had to risk, and they did lose 2 cruises already. How many? 8,600 passengers were left to fend for themselves already. Now you've had 2 cruises with nothing but problems. That's another 8,600 potential passengers with a bad taste in their mouth. Why do you do this? Why are you bringing a ship out so early when it's clearly not ready to go? And when you have 4,300 people on a ship and they expect to be able to go into this bar or this restaurant and they're closed, they're not even ready, and they paid premium prices. You don't pay regular price to get an inaugural cruise. The first 6-8 cruises are inaugural cruises. You might pay double the normal rate. How many of those 17,000 people are paying double what they would normally have to pay a year from now to get less than half of what they're supposed to get? I mean, geez, $50 credit. I don't know if that's going to go very far. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, there you go. I'm ranting today. What can I say? Okay, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Frederick, I also have a suspicion of homophobia, actually, and I left a comment about this on Ben and David's channel yesterday. Nothing else makes any sense to me for the way they were treated, says Frederick. There you go. Well, apparently they were saying that for the 3rd day in the afternoon and then during the 4th day, they were always noticing every half hour somebody with a suit on, suit and tie, would approach them and approach them and approach them. And they were very suspicious. Like, what are you people doing? Because what they don't do is if they want to film a restaurant, they'll take photos of their food, right above the plate. And one might film the other trying their food with no other people in the background. So you can't say that they're intruding on anyone's privacy. No. But they're certainly not causing a scene. They're not, they're not shamelessly jumping up and down and, pay attention to us because we're YouTubers. They're not that's not their style. And so you can't accuse them of interrupting the ship's activities or affairs or making guests uncomfortable with their aggressive filming technique. Nothing like that. There were no complaints. Yeah, it's something else. I think it was a former review that Cruise Line's getting even with these guys. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's disturbing and fascinating at the same time, isn't it? So I don't know. We'll see what gives. 33 thumbs ups have come in today. Thank you so very much, all of you, for coming through for us with 33. If you're able to hit any more, please do. And if you're watching on the rerun, let me know what number you are so I can keep track of how many thumbs ups we're getting from all of you. Thank you so very much, folks. I'm calling this a show. The MSC thing, I sure hope that no other YouTuber goes through the experience that these two have faced. That we don't need this. YouTubers do not need cruise lines to now shut down YouTubers from doing what they do. I understand if they're creating a problem. Yeah, you have every right to certainly have a chat. But I'm certain that no YouTuber will argue with a cruise ship about any policy. But I'm curious about this, if this will spread or if this is a one-off, because if the bad news that is going to come to MSC spreads, it could be 20 million views in the next month about this incident. And I don't know if MSC wants to play this game. Not a smart move. Sharon, have a great night, Uncle Bruce, and please send our love to Jen. You got it, Sharon. We will definitely do that. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight from Palm Desert, California. It was a pleasure to see you. We'll see you next Monday. And make sure to give someone you love an extra long hug. You never know when it's the last time. So thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks, Bruce, for coming to the story. It's sad to hear. I can only imagine what it would feel like to have security follow one around. Very sad. I'm with you there, my friend. That would not be good at all. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a good week, everyone. Take care, and bye-bye.